5 mistakes elderly people make that ruin their lives in old age. Aging is an inevitable part of life, but how we approach our golden years can make all the difference between a fulfilling life and one filled with regret. Having worked closely with older adults and seen the unique challenges they face, I've identified 5 common mistakes that many make in their later years. These missteps can slowly erode their happiness, health, and sense of purpose. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, or if you're supporting someone in this stage of life, take these lessons to heart. Each mistake can serve as a wake-up call to take action and reclaim control of your life. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. 1. Neglecting physical and mental health. As we age, our bodies inevitably change, and many older adults resign themselves to the belief that aches, pains, or forgetfulness are just part of getting old. This mindset, while common, can be profoundly limiting. It's true that time leaves its mark, but accepting decline as a given, rather than a challenge to address, robs you of the vitality and joy that your later years can still hold. Neglecting your health, both physical and mental, is like letting a beautiful garden grow wild and untended. It doesn't happen all at once, but slowly, day by day, the weeds take over and the blooms fade. The truth is, the choices you make today profoundly influence the quality of your life tomorrow. Physical health isn't just about living longer. It's about moving through the world with ease. Being able to play with your grandchildren, garden without pain, or simply climb the stairs to your bedroom without dread. Yet, so many older adults deprioritize movement, ignoring the power of a brisk walk or a light stretching routine. They become sedentary, their muscles weaken, and their confidence in their own bodies diminishes. The irony is that movement is the very thing that protects against the frailty so many fear. But physical health is only one side of the coin. Mental health, often overlooked, is just as critical. Loneliness creeps in during retirement when social circles shrink and the structure of a workday disappears. Without proactive effort, isolation becomes a quiet thief, stealing joy, clarity, and even cognitive function. Depression and anxiety can follow, though they are rarely talked about among older adults. Many suffer in silence, thinking it's just how things are now. But it doesn't have to be this way. Taking care of your health isn't about chasing youth. It's about living fully in the present. It's about waking up each day feeling strong, capable, and connected. It's about finding small victories, whether that's walking an extra block, learning something new, or feeling confident in your own skin. Consider this. Each healthy choice you make is a gift to yourself and to the people who love you. It's not selfish to prioritize your health. It's necessary. After all, how can you enjoy your relationships, your hobbies, or the moments that matter most if your body or mind limits you? The path to reclaiming your health doesn't require dramatic changes. It begins with small, intentional actions. A morning walk becomes a ritual. Choosing a colorful plate of fruits and vegetables becomes a habit. Picking up a book or trying a crossword puzzle sharpens your mind. Calling a friend or joining a local senior group creates connections that nourish your soul. These simple acts, repeated daily, are the building blocks of a life that feels vibrant, regardless of age. Perhaps most importantly, don't be afraid to ask for help. Talk to your doctor about persistent pain or mood changes. See a physical therapist if mobility feels challenging. Find a counselor or support group if grief or loneliness weighs heavy on your heart. You are not alone in this journey, and there is no shame in reaching out. In fact, seeking support is one of the most courageous steps you can take. The greatest mistake we can make in our later years is to believe we are powerless to change. Yes, time changes us, but it doesn't define us. Each day offers a choice to succumb to decline or to rise to the challenge of living well. So step outside. Take a deep breath. Let today be the day you choose to nurture your body, your mind, and your spirit. You deserve nothing less. 2. Holding on to toxic relationships. As we grow older, the people we surround ourselves with shape the emotional landscape of our lives. Relationships, whether with family, friends, or caregivers, should bring us comfort, joy, and a sense of connection. But too often, older adults hold on to toxic relationships, clinging to them out of obligation, fear of being alone, or sheer habit. These relationships, filled with negativity, manipulation, or even outright abuse, can drain the very life out of us when we deserve peace and harmony the most. It's a painful truth to face. Not all relationships are worth keeping. Perhaps it's an adult child who constantly criticizes you, making you feel small and unworthy. Maybe it's a lifelong friend whose negativity overshadows every conversation, turning your joys into burdens. Or it could be a partner who has grown distant or controlling, leaving you feeling trapped rather than cherished. Even caregivers, the very people entrusted with your well-being, can sometimes contribute to an atmosphere of resentment or neglect. The hardest part of addressing toxic relationships is admitting their presence. For decades, you may have excused bad behavior with thoughts like, "That's just how they are," or "I don't want to cause trouble." But the truth is, enduring toxic relationships doesn't keep the peace, it erodes it. Every negative interaction chips away at your sense of self, replacing confidence with doubt, joy with sadness, and hope with exhaustion. Over time, you may come to believe that this treatment is all you deserve, when nothing could be further from the truth. Letting go of toxicity isn't about cutting ties recklessly or without care. It's about reclaiming your right to live with dignity and respect. It starts with setting boundaries, clear lines that protect your emotional and mental well-being. Boundaries aren't about punishing others. They're about teaching people how to treat you. For instance, if someone constantly speaks to you in a way that makes you feel small, let them know firmly but kindly that you will no longer tolerate that behavior. If they choose to continue, it's their decision. But you also have the power to decide how much access they have to your life. Sometimes, setting boundaries isn't enough. There may be relationships where the toxicity runs so deep that the only way to protect yourself is to walk away. This is never an easy choice, especially when it involves someone you've loved or depended on for years. But ask yourself, what is the cost of staying? How many more moments of your precious time will be spent in pain or resentment? Walking away doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care enough about yourself to prioritize your peace. However, cutting ties isn't always necessary or possible. In some cases, healing is an option. Open and honest conversations, perhaps with the help of a mediator or counselor, can mend fractured relationships. It takes courage to confront someone you love, but when done with care and sincerity, it can lead to growth on both sides. Not every toxic relationship has to end in separation. Some can transform into healthier, more fulfilling connections. But for this to happen, both parties must be willing to change. While it's vital to distance yourself from toxicity, it's just as important to nurture the positive relationships in your life. Focus on the people who lift you up, who listen without judgment, and who bring laughter and light into your days. These are the relationships worth investing in, the ones that remind you of your value and make you feel truly seen and loved. And if you feel isolated or lacking in connections, don't hesitate to seek out new friendships. Join a local group, take a class, or volunteer in your community. It's never too late to form meaningful bonds. As you reflect on the relationships in your life, remember this: you deserve kindness, respect, and love. Not sometimes, but always. You've spent decades building a life, overcoming challenges, and sharing your gifts with the world. Now, more than ever, you deserve relationships that reflect the best of who you are. Let go of what no longer serves you and embrace the people and connections that bring you peace. Your golden years should be just that: golden, free from the weight of toxicity, and full of the warmth of true connection. 3. Failing to plan for the future. As we step into the later stages of life, many of us shy away from thinking about the future. It feels daunting to confront topics like finances, healthcare, or where we'll live as we age. Some avoid these conversations out of fear, thinking, "I'll cross that bridge when I come to it," while others assume their loved ones will step in and handle things when the time comes. This avoidance, though understandable, can lead to chaos, uncertainty, and unnecessary heartache for ourselves and for the people we care about most. Failing to plan for the future is one of the most common mistakes older adults make, and it's one that often carries heavy consequences. Without proper preparation, you may find yourself in a vulnerable position, struggling to afford the care you need, living in an environment that no longer suits you, or losing the ability to make decisions about your own life. Worse, it can leave your family scrambling to pick up the pieces, unsure of your wishes, and burdened with difficult choices. The irony is that planning for the future isn't about expecting the worst. It's about giving yourself the best possible chance to live with dignity, independence, and peace of mind. Taking control of your future starts with confronting the uncomfortable truths. For instance, have you thought about where you'll live if your current home becomes too difficult to maintain? Many older adults insist on staying in their homes no matter what, even as stairs become harder to climb or yard work becomes unmanageable. While it's natural to want to hold on to the familiar, clinging to an impractical living situation can lead to isolation, falls, or a crisis that forces a sudden, unwanted move. Instead, consider your options now, whether that means downsizing, moving closer to family, or exploring senior living communities. By planning ahead, you can make a thoughtful choice that aligns with your needs and preferences. Finances are another critical area that often goes overlooked. Many seniors assume their retirement savings, Social Security, or pensions will cover them, only to find themselves facing unexpected medical bills, home repairs, or the costs of long-term care. It's not just about having enough money. It's about ensuring your finances align with the life you want to lead. Have you reviewed your budget recently? Are you prepared for the rising costs of healthcare? Consulting a financial advisor, even later in life, can help you navigate these questions and protect your financial stability. One of the most overlooked aspects of future planning is making your wishes known. Have you created a will or set up advance directives? These documents aren't just for the wealthy. They're for anyone who wants to ensure their voice is heard, even when they can no longer speak for themselves. A will ensures your assets are distributed according to your wishes, preventing family disputes and legal complications. Advance directives, meanwhile, allow you to specify your preferences for medical care, sparing your loved ones from having to make difficult decisions on your behalf. These are acts of love, gifts that offer clarity and guidance during challenging times. Perhaps the most challenging part of planning for the future is discussing these topics with your family. It's not easy to bring up subjects like end-of-life care, estate planning, or where you might live if you can no longer live independently. Yet these conversations are essential. They allow you to express your wishes clearly, and they give your loved ones the opportunity to support you in the way you want. Avoiding these discussions doesn't protect your family. It leaves them unprepared, often leading to confusion and conflict down the road. Be brave enough to start the conversation. You might be surprised at how much relief it brings to everyone involved. Planning for the future isn't about giving up control. It's about taking control. It's about creating a roadmap for your later years, one that reflects your values, priorities, and aspirations. It's about ensuring that your golden years are spent living with purpose and peace, not reacting to crises or regrets. And it's about leaving a legacy, not just in material terms, but in the clarity and love you leave behind for your family. It's never too late to take these steps. Start small. Make a list of what matters most to you, whether it's staying in your home, maintaining financial independence, or receiving care in a certain way. Speak with professionals, financial planners, lawyers, or social workers who can help you navigate the complexities. And most importantly, be open with your loved ones. These conversations, though difficult, are the foundation of a future that is secure, intentional, and filled with the dignity you deserve. Life has taught you resilience, wisdom, and the importance of preparation. Don't let fear or procrastination rob you of the opportunity to shape your future. The power is in your hands. Use it to create a life that honors all you've worked for, all you've loved, and all you continue to dream of. 4. Living without purpose. There comes a point in life when the demands of work, raising a family, and meeting responsibilities begin to fade, leaving behind what feels like a vast and open space. For many older adults, this transition is both freeing and unsettling. With no job to report to, no children to care for, and fewer external expectations, some find themselves asking, "What now?" It's a question that strikes at the heart of what it means to live with purpose. Yet too often, people in their later years make the mistake of assuming their purpose is behind them rather than ahead. The idea of purpose doesn't diminish with age. It evolves. The mistake isn't in slowing down, but in equating that slowdown with irrelevance. Purpose isn't about a career title or the hustle of youth. It's about the meaning we draw from our lives and the contributions we make to the world, no matter how big or small. To live without purpose is to drift through each day, slowly eroding the joy and fulfillment that give life its richness. Yet, purpose is always within reach, waiting to be rediscovered, reshaped, and reignited. Living without purpose often begins with a sense of loss, the loss of a career identity, the loss of a partner, the loss of physical abilities, or even the loss of a clear roadmap for the future. These changes can feel disorienting, even paralyzing, leading to a kind of passivity. Days blend into one another, filled with mindless distractions or empty routines that barely scratch the surface of fulfillment. Without realizing it, you may find yourself living more in memory than in the present, convinced that your best days are behind you. But the truth is, purpose is not something that fades with age. It deepens. The experiences, wisdom, and perspective you've gained over a lifetime are treasures that can shape your next chapter in ways younger generations can't yet imagine. Purpose in later years doesn't have to look like it did when you were younger. It can be quieter, more intimate, and more profound. It's found in the gentle act of mentoring a grandchild, volunteering at a local charity, pursuing a lifelong passion, or simply showing kindness to others in your community. Purpose doesn't need applause to matter. It simply needs to matter to you. The greatest barrier to rediscovering purpose is often a fear of starting. Maybe you've told yourself it's too late to try something new, or that no one will care what you have to offer. These thoughts are not truths, they are doubts, and they don't deserve to dictate the way you live. Every day you wake up is an invitation to choose purpose, to choose meaning. Whether that means taking a painting class, tending a garden, joining a book club, or volunteering at a shelter, it starts with the smallest of actions. A willingness to say, "Yes, I still have something to give." Purpose is also found in relationships. Many older adults mistakenly withdraw from others, believing they will be a burden or assuming no one has time for them. But purpose often lies in connection, reaching out to loved ones, rekindling old friendships, or simply striking up a conversation with a neighbor can open doors to moments of joy and shared humanity. Purpose doesn't always announce itself boldly. It often whispers through the bonds we create with others. For some, spiritual reflection becomes a guiding light in rediscovering purpose. Whether through faith, meditation, or simply quiet contemplation, many find that their later years are a time to explore the deeper questions of life. Why am I here? What have I learned? What can I leave behind? These reflections aren't meant to dwell on the past, but to illuminate how you can live more fully in the present. Your purpose might be as simple as spreading kindness in a world that desperately needs it, or as profound as reconciling old hurts and creating a legacy of love. The beauty of purpose is that it's uniquely yours. It doesn't have to conform to anyone else's expectations or definitions. It's not about productivity or achievement. It's about alignment, living in a way that feels meaningful to you. Even if your purpose changes from day to day, it remains the compass that gives direction to your life. Without it, the days feel empty. With it, every moment carries weight and significance. If you're feeling lost or aimless, know that this is not the end of your story. It's a chapter waiting to be written. There is no timeline for rediscovering purpose. It can happen at any age, in any season of life. What matters is that you remain open to the possibility. Take a step, however small, towards something that excites or fulfills you. Reach out to someone you trust and share your thoughts. Start with what's in front of you and let purpose unfold naturally. You've lived a life full of challenges, triumphs, and lessons. Those experiences have prepared you for this moment, not as an ending, but as a new beginning. Purpose is not something you lose, it's something you create. And every day, you have the chance to create it anew. 5. Isolating yourself. Isolation is a quiet thief. It doesn't announce itself loudly or all at once, but rather, it sneaks into your life slowly. One missed phone call or skipped gathering at a time. For many older adults, this retreat into solitude feels almost inevitable. Mobility issues, the loss of loved ones, or the sense that people are too busy make it easy to justify staying home or keeping to yourself. Yet, isolation is one of the most dangerous mistakes you can make in your later years, stealing not only your connection to others, but also your joy, health, and sense of belonging. Humans are inherently social beings. No matter our age, we thrive on connection, on shared experiences, and on the knowledge that someone out there sees us, hears us, and values us. When we isolate ourselves, whether intentionally or not, we deny ourselves this fundamental need. Days grow quieter, routines become monotonous, and life can start to feel like it's shrinking. Without realizing it, you may find yourself withdrawing further, convincing yourself that it's easier this way. But easier doesn't always mean better. Isolation impacts more than just your emotional well-being. It has profound effects on your physical and mental health as well. Studies have shown that prolonged loneliness can lead to higher rates of depression, anxiety, and even cognitive decline. It weakens the immune system, exacerbates chronic conditions, and increases the risk of heart disease. The mind and body are deeply connected, and when the heart is lonely, the body often suffers too. Isolation, in many ways, is as harmful as smoking or obesity. Yet, it is far less visible. But the good news is this: it's never too late to reconnect. Breaking free from isolation doesn't require grand gestures or overwhelming effort. It starts with small, deliberate steps. Pick up the phone and call a friend or family member. Send a handwritten letter to someone you've been thinking about. Accept an invitation, even if it feels easier to stay home. Each act of reaching out, no matter how small, begins to rebuild the bridges that loneliness has tried to burn. If your current social circle has dwindled, don't be afraid to seek new connections. Joining local senior groups, book clubs, or exercise classes can introduce you to people who share your interests. Volunteering is another powerful way to combat isolation while giving back to your community. Whether it's helping at a food bank, mentoring young people, or assisting at a library, you'll find not only purpose, but also companionship and shared service. And if mobility or transportation is an issue, consider embracing technology. Video calls, online forums, and social media can keep you connected even when you can't leave your home. Of course, reaching out takes courage, especially if you've been isolated for some time. It's natural to feel hesitant or wonder if people truly want to hear from you. But the truth is, most people are grateful to reconnect. They're often waiting for someone to make the first move. By taking that step, you not only nurture your own well-being, but also remind others of the value of connection. It's a gift you give to yourself and those around you. Isolation also feeds on a harmful narrative that you are a burden to others. This belief couldn't be further from the truth. Your presence, your stories, and your wisdom are treasures that enrich the lives of those who care about you. Your children, grandchildren, and friends may not always know how to reach out or express their love, but they value you more than you realize. By staying connected, you strengthen these bonds, creating memories and moments that both you and your loved ones will cherish. It's also important to remember that isolation isn't always a choice. Sometimes life circumstances, loss, illness, or logistical challenges make it difficult to stay connected. In these cases, seeking help is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. Let your family, neighbors, or community organizations know what you need, whether it's transportation, companionship, or simply someone to talk to. There are resources and people who want to help, but they can only do so if you let them in. As you move through this chapter of life, recognize that isolation doesn't have to define your story. You've spent a lifetime building relationships, overcoming challenges, and creating memories. That rich tapestry of connection doesn't end here. It can continue to grow and evolve. The key is to stay open, to seek out opportunities for connection, and to remind yourself that you are never truly alone. Your golden years are meant to be shared, not in isolation, but in the company of those who love and value you. By reaching out, by saying yes to new experiences, and by letting others into your life, you ensure that these years are filled with the laughter, love, and warmth that every person deserves. Reconnection is always possible. All it takes is one step. Let today be the day you take it. Conclusion: a life well lived, a legacy worth leaving. As we journey through the later chapters of life, we are gifted with the unique opportunity to reflect on the paths we've taken, the lessons we've learned, and the wisdom we've gained. But reflection alone isn't enough. We must use that wisdom to shape the days we have ahead. The mistakes discussed here, neglecting health, clinging to toxic relationships, failing to plan, living without purpose, and isolating ourselves, are not inevitable. They are choices, and with awareness, they are choices we can avoid or reverse. Your later years are not a closing act. They are a rich, meaningful chapter still waiting to be written. This chapter is about more than survival. It's about thriving. It's about embracing the fullness of life, even in the face of its challenges, and recognizing that each day is an opportunity to grow, connect, and contribute. It's about living in a way that brings you peace and joy while leaving behind a legacy of love, strength, and inspiration for those who follow. No matter your age or circumstances, it is never too late to make a change. Small, deliberate steps can lead to profound transformations. You can choose to nurture your body, engage your mind, and nourish your soul. You can let go of relationships that hurt and cultivate those that heal. You can create a plan for the future that gives you peace of mind and a sense of control. You can rediscover your purpose, rekindle your passions, and reconnect with the world around you. And through it all, remember this: your life has meaning. Your presence matters. The wisdom, kindness, and love you offer ripple outward in ways you may never fully see, but they are felt deeply by those whose lives you touch. The golden years are a time to cherish and protect the person you've become, to honor the life you've built, and to continue growing into the person you aspire to be. You have the power to make these years not just a time of reflection, but a time of renewal, a celebration of all you've lived through and all you still have to offer. This is your time. Choose to live it well. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.